Good evening, and welcome to the National Baseball Hall of Fame and Museum. And it's our honor to have all of you with us here. We're looking to open a fantastic new exhibit, The Souls of the Game, Voices of Black Baseball. And as many of you know, we unveiled a wonderful new statue of Hank Aaron titled Keep Smiling last night. Keep swinging, I'm sorry. I was thinking of that smile on Hank's face. We are so happy that Billy Aaron is here with us, not only for last night's unveiling, but to celebrate those wonderful events of the weekend with her family and friends, including Ambassador Andrew Young and his wife Carolyn. Welcome, Mr. Ambassador. Carolyn. And I can tell you that you will be seeing Billy again tomorrow as she throws out the first pitch of the game with Ken Griffey Jr. We have several of our board members here this weekend, and I'd like to introduce them with Hall of Fame members. And when I introduce you, if you would just please remain standing. Ozzie Smith, and the board's newly elected Vice Chairman, Joe Torre. And joining them are 11 other Hall of Fame members. Harold Baines, Raleigh Fingers, Pat Gillick, Fergie Jenkins, Jim Cott, Fred McGriff, Eddie Murray, Jim Rice, Ryan Sandberg, Lee Smith, and Dave Winfield. Thank you. The initiative behind the Souls of the Game, Voices of Black Baseball began several years ago because we knew it was important to evolve the way a museum explores the history of Black baseball, its impact on the game, and its impact on our country. For the past 85 years, we have been focused on preserving history, honoring excellence, and connecting generations. And we believe this new exhibit will accomplish each of those goals as it tells of the Black experience through the voices and the words of those who lived it in baseball. This exhibit would not have been possible without the generosity of the Yawkey Foundation. Over the years, the foundation has generously funded many of our exhibits and projects. And it's so great to have so many of their trustees with us tonight, including John Harrington, who served on the Hall of Fame's Board of Directors for 12 years and serves as the chairman of the Yawkey Foundation. And if I could ask John and the representatives of the Yawkey Foundation to please stand so we can honor your commitment to the Hall of Fame. Thank you. We are also grateful to Bill Janicek, a longtime supporter of the Hall of Fame, who has contributed significantly to this exhibit in honor of his brother and sister, Robert and Ann. We're so glad that Bill could be with us. And Bill, if you could also stand. And finally, we also wish to thank two others who unfortunately could not be with us this weekend, Tony Yoseloff and Frank Bisignano, who have also generously supported this initiative, and it couldn't have happened without them, and we really are sorry they can't be here for this opening. Last night, we had the dedication of Hank's statue. Tonight, we're opening the Souls of the Game, and tomorrow on Doubleday Field, we're having the Hall of Fame East-West Classic, a tribute to the Negro Leagues All-Star Game. A special thank you to Cece Sebastian and Chris Young for putting together two great teams of recently retired MLB stars. And we're excited to welcome each of the players and their families to Cooperstown and to thank them not only on our behalf, but on behalf of the fans who have also come to Cooperstown for this weekend and are very excited about it. This afternoon, Josh told me we announced that we were sold out for the Classic, which is terrific. The Hall of Fame East-West Classic is made even more special because the original idea for it came from our curator, John Odell, who we tragically lost 10 months ago. He helped develop many exhibits at the Hall of Fame for 24 years, and we know that he would be so proud of this weekend's events. So as we honor John and his vision, I would like to thank the entire staff and our curatorial team for this exhibit. And when I call your name, if you would please stand. Lisa Anderson, Tom Schieber, Gabriel Augustine, R.J. Lara, Nicole Rensler, and Mary Quinn. Thank you all. We truly appreciate your extraordinary efforts. And now I'd like to ask our president, Josh Rawitch, to say a few words about the Souls of the Game. Thank you.
Thank you, Jane, for those wonderful words. And I want to thank Jane and the board of directors really for their guidance in this project and making sure that our team had all the resources that we need to create such an important initiative and exhibit. You're going to hear the term initiative a lot tonight, in the months to come, and the years to come. And while the Souls of the Game exhibit itself, we kind of internally have been calling the heartbeat of the exhibit, it's going to become one of the most popular stops in the Hall of Fame. We know that, for any visitor that comes to Cooperstown. But it was important to us not to just limit what we did to that one exhibit alone in the museum. We updated several exhibits all throughout the museum with new stories of black baseball, and we're going to continue to tell those black baseball stories and enhance that in the years to come. We also knew that if we only focused what was going on here in Cooperstown, that we were going to miss out on hitting the communities around the country that we knew would be able to be impacted and be benefited from this initiative. That's why we're so proud that there have been thousands of kids in the past and in the years to come here from Albany, Utica, Syracuse, and New York City who have come and taken field trips to the Hall of Fame courtesy of NBT Bank, and they get a chance to see that exhibit free of charge, paying for the buses, paying for their food, having a great time here. We've also sent school resource kits to hundreds of classrooms across the country, and that lets us bring our civil rights curriculum into the classrooms so that teachers can teach this important history. And we also launched an online online interactive that's tailored to ages 8 through 12 that you can visit at weplay.baseballhall.org. It was truly an institution-wide project. Every single person in this building had something to do with it, and it's an incredibly proud moment for all of us. But I do want to thank a few people here in the room. I want to thank our leadership team, our curatorial consultants, who very early on we deemed the Fab Five. Like them to stand as I call their names: Gerald Early, Leslie Heafy, Larry Lester, Rowan Ricardo Phillips, and Rob Ruck. You five pushed... You pushed us, you taught us, and because of those efforts, this exhibit is truly something special. The same thing goes for our advisory committee. This is a group of incredibly respected people from throughout the game of baseball, the museum world, and cultural institutions. Your input has been invaluable in this process, and I know all of you are listed on the panel outside the exhibit, but many of the 30 of you came to visit us here and be a part of this, and I want to recognize those in attendance. Again, we have some Hall of Famers, and that you guys don't have to stand again, but for those of you that have not yet stood, Harold Baines, April Brown, Doug Glanville, Ken Griffey Jr., Edwin Jackson, Bill Janicek, Fergie Jenkins, Adam Jones, Adrian Burgos Jr., Bob Kendrick, Lonnie Murray, Joe Poznansky, Tony Regans, Claire Smith, Lee Smith, Ozzie Smith, Gretchen Sullivan-Soren, Damian Thomas, and Dave Winfield. Let's have a round of applause for this group as well. And finally, to the Players Alliance, thanks to their generosity, admission to the museum tomorrow is completely free to anybody who wants to come see this exhibit on its first day open to the public. So with that, thank you. Thanks, Ozzy. Round of applause for the Players Alliance. With that, I would like to turn it over to one of those curatorial consultants that I just mentioned, a multi-award-winning poet, author, screenwriter, academic, and journalist. Please welcome our friend, Rowan Ricardo Phillips.
Good afternoon, or good evening, depending on how things go for you. Ladies and gentlemen, esteemed guests, and all who cherish the game of baseball, for the past few years, I, along with my colleagues, you just heard their names called, Gerald Early, Leslie Heafy, Larry Lester, and Rob Ruck, have had the great privilege of serving as curatorial consultants for this remarkable new exhibit that celebrates a vital and ongoing chapter of American life. Now, despite having a Yankee fan, a Mets fan, a Phillies fan, a Pirates fan, and a Royals fan together in a windowless room for endless weekends over the past 2 years, I'm happy to report to you that no one was harmed in the making of this exhibit. In fact, when I think of my colleagues, including, of course, the wonderful staff of the Hall of Fame from top to bottom, I feel as though I'm thinking of family. The pride we all feel from the process and experience of assembling this exhibit is great, poignant, and everlasting. We have learned from each other, laughed with each other, agreed, disagreed, and depended on each other. We spent hundreds upon hundreds upon hundreds of hours together listening for and to the chorus of voices that are Black baseball. And when you listen, you discover that chorus surrounds you like oxygen. Black baseball is literally everywhere. In the beginning, they played in the parks of the cold and crowded cities of the Northeast. They played in the sparse and scattered territories of the hot Southwest. They played on makeshift diamonds etched out of the windy prairies of the Great Plains and on snow-cleared outposts tucked deep in the valleys of the Rocky Mountain ranges. They played along the coastal lowlands of Maine. They played in Anaconda, Butte, and Helena, Montana. They played in New Orleans and Nova Scotia. They played in Chicago, St. Louis, and Kansas City, Sioux City, St. Paul, and Oswego. They played as ringers for the segregated hotels where summer after summer they worked as butlers, bellhops, and bartenders. They played in Algiers, Louisiana, and Cadiz, Ohio. They played as businessmen on behalf of the barbershops that they owned. They played stationed at Fort Huachuca. They played between trips down the coal mines of Beaver Hill, Oregon. They played between their studies at Tuskegee, Howard, and Lincoln universities. They called themselves the fearless, the wide awakes, the help-ups, the resolutes, the can't-get-always, the Dolly Vardens, the young bachelors, the homeboys, the exiles. They call themselves the stars, the Black Barons, the ABCs, the Monarchs, the Black Sox, the Crawfords, the Coconuts, the Cubans, the Plutos, the Grays. They call themselves the Giants, the Elite Giants, the American Giants, the Standard Giants, the Royal Giants. They call themselves Dodgers, Braves, Cubs, Brewers, Expos, but of course, Giants. Satchel Paige famously said, "Don't look back. Somebody might be gaining on you." This reflects not only his personal philosophy, but also the resilience and forward-looking attitude that many Black players have had to adopt in the face of racial adversity. But now, perhaps we can say, look back. Something is gaining on you. and turn to not only face what's there, but also embrace it. As you round the bases of this exhibit, take a moment to turn around and look back. Hopefully something is gaining on you. This exhibit opens as a window to the past, offering a glimpse into the legacies of the Black baseball players who did more than play a game. Black baseball executives who did more than administer the game. Black baseball fans who did more than watch the game. And Black baseball writers who did more than report on the game. They all helped shape this nation. For Black baseball is not only about excelling on the diamond, it is about the pioneers, the community leaders, and advocates for justice, whose contributions extend far beyond the boundaries of any ball field. For Black baseball touches the very soul of America. Therefore, let us remember the enduring spirit of these people, some of them right here with us, who've given themselves to the game with unwavering determination and dignity. Let their legacy inspire us to continue the work of making our world a more inclusive, just, and compassionate place. So long live baseball, and long live these beautiful souls of the game. Thank you.
That was awesome, Rowan. And finally, as you know, this exhibit is in fact called The Souls of the Game, Voices of Black Baseball. So I'd like to turn it over to one of those voices, a member of our board of directors, who not only served on the advisory committee for this exhibit and initiative, but also serves as the Hall of Fame's educational ambassador. Please welcome, from the class of 2002, Ozzie Smith.
Thanks, Josh. What a tough act to follow, Ryan. First of all, I'd like to thank you all for being here and seeing here in person the new initiative come to fruition that took these years and years of effort. It's very special to see so many of you here to supporting the souls of the game. And as a member of the board of directors, I don't have to tell you how much Cooperstown and the museum means to me. This place is incredibly special for ball players and every Hall of Famer, and I still get chills when I walk into the building, even after all these years. And as a Black man, I've been proud to see the Hall of Fame take the time, the effort, and the initiative to develop this project and to celebrate the accomplishments of those who came before and after me, as well as the challenges we have faced and continue to face. I'm proud to be included in this exhibit as one of the voices of Black baseball. And just like many of you, I am committed to ensuring that more and more young Black people fall in love with the game like all of us did. That's one reason why I became the Hall of Fame's education ambassador as soon as I got elected. And it's also why the Hall of Fame offers an Ozzie Smith Diversity Scholarship as part of its internship program. I'm excited that the newest members of that program will arrive here in Cooperstown next week on the heels of this exciting weekend. It is also why I agreed to serve on the advisory committee of this project from the very start. It has been more than 2 years since we first began gathering to discuss this initiative and provide our perspective to the curatorial team and the staff here at the Hall of Fame. I had the chance to see the exhibit last night before it opened, and I can tell you, it is something we can all be very proud of. And during my induction in 2002, I first got to see the previous exhibit that focused on Black baseball. And it was just 5 years old. It had opened in 1997 as part of the celebration of the 50th anniversary of Jackie Robinson breaking the color barrier. And it was a groundbreaking exhibit at that time. But over the last 2 decades, history has continued to be made. And the lens of time allows us to better reflect on the players who came before us and the circumstances that they faced. That's why I'm so glad that the Souls of the Game is not just an update of the previous exhibit. With 25 plus years more history included, it is completely new, and it tells the story from the perspective of those who have lived it. And I hope that after you spend some time in the exhibit, that you walk away inspired by the stories of those who overcame seemingly insurmountable challenges to play the game that we love. And I hope that the contributions of the Black players, coaches, managers, executives, umpires, and fans shine through in their own words. And finally, I hope that visitors come away with a richer, deeper understanding of race and baseball, and like all good museum exhibits, that it sparks discussion and conversation between us all. I'm so thankful to be here tonight for this special occasion, and I hope all of you have a wonderful weekend. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ozzy. Thank you, Rowan. Thank you all so much for being here. It's really going to be a wonderful night. We hope you get a chance to spend some time in the exhibit and enjoy all of the things that we have for you this evening. This is an incredibly important initiative, and we couldn't do it without the people in this room.